Dani Alves has hit a social rock bottom. As you already know from the news and our previous video about the Brazilian's life, he's behind bars. The court sentenced him to a rather harsh 4 years and a half in prison, although it could have been even worse, 9 or even 12 years, as demanded by the victim and the court. But the 150,000 euros compensation paid to the victim has reduced the sentence. On March 9th, a piece of info about the Barcelona and Brazilian national team legend's suicide was published by an unscrupulous journalist. Fortunately, this was proved to be untrue. Nevertheless, Dani Alves very quickly attracted a new tsunami of attention. On March 20th, the Barcelona-based La Vanguardia was the first to share details of the court's decision regarding the 1 million euros bail. If the Brazilian can pay it, he can be released, under certain conditions of course. According to various sources, the said amount will be paid with a 99% probability. Some people claim that it has already happened, while others claim that it should happen. The key point is that Alves will not waste this opportunity and will be able to somehow get enough money whatever it takes. According to the same publication, La Vanguardia, this million will be paid by Neymar's father, but everyone understands who is actually paying the money or giving the loans. It's Neymar Jr. It appears that Ney is Dani's best friend, and he didn't leave him to his fate and stood by him at a time when many turned their backs on Alves because of the nature of his crime. Maybe it's because Neymar went through something similar himself. Neymar years ago almost found himself in prison after he was fakely accused of rape. He only survived after surveillance footage showed the woman forcing herself on him. The news of his father paying bail money for former teammate Dani Alves, who is accused of rape, is a sign of true brotherhood. He understands everything Alves is going through. His career is done, his name in the mud, and his freedom gone, and all because of a justice system based against men. Remember Benjamin Mendy lost everything over fake allegations. It's high time men start uniting against an unjust system. Truly noble what Neymar did, being a brother's keeper, wrote the blogger The Salt on the Earth. Please leave us a like if you respect Neymar for his action. Not everyone would have taken such a difficult reputational step. By the way, another friend of Dani's who didn't turn away from the Brazilian was Lionel Messi. At the beginning of the case, the Argentine recommended the services of Cristobal Martel, one of the top lawyers he had ever met, and according to some assumptions, it was Leo who paid for the services of these specialists after finding out that his former Barca teammate was having huge financial problems. So, many thanks to Lionel as well. Interestingly enough, Barcelona also decided to support Dani Alves and keep his status as a club legend, although the day after the verdict, they removed the Brazilian from the relevant section of the website. And then, Dani received his respect and support after all, although Barca publicly distanced itself from the controversial case. Dani Alves' case is complicated, to say the least. The 23-year-old girl who became a victim is telling her truth, the convict is telling his. To what extent we are dealing with an unjust system is unclear, but this case already has a first sentence of 4 years and a half in prison, which the Brazilian and his lawyers still have to deal with. So far, Dani has already served a quarter of the total sentence, which is 14 months in Barcelona's Brian's-Stoop prison. And therefore, Alves is left with another 40 months to serve. What's interesting here is that concurrently to this case, Dani and his team have managed to win a court battle against the Spanish tax authorities. According to the court's decision, the treasury is obliged to return 9.2 million euros to the Brazilian, who expects to use this money to pay back Neymar's debt. Since his main accounts are blocked in Brazil due to the court case, and there were earlier reports of him having a negative bank balance of £17,000. Aside from the 1 million debt, Dani will also return the 150,000 euros paid to the victim, which was also provided by Neymar through his father. So as you can see, the former Barca player's financial situation is rapidly improving. Naturally, there was no way this court ruling could have made the victim feel any better. Her lawyer, Esther Garcia, reacted to it just hours after the decision was made public. "I've not been able to give you an explanation in legal terms. This is justice for the rich. it conveys a sense of impunity. One can certainly understand such emotions, but let us take a brief look at the conditions under which Dani will be freed. Earlier on, the judges did not give Alves this opportunity because of the high risk of him leaving the country, but some decisions were made to significantly reduce these risks. By the way, 3 judges participated in the vote. The result was 2-1 in favor of Dani's temporary freedom. Alves may remain at large until the appeals to the High Court of Justice of Catalonia and the Supreme Court are heard. And now we are getting to the main point. Alves will have his Spanish and Brazilian passports confiscated. He will be banned from leaving Spain, and he will also have to appear in court in Barcelona each week. Moreover, the judges also prohibit the Brazilian from coming within 1 kilometer of his victim or from having any communication with her. I believe in justice. I'm not gonna run away, the Brazilian defender said in a statement via video conference from Brian Steele on March 19th, when an additional hearing in the case was held. Dani could have been released from prison the next day. Prosecutors opposed the measure, arguing that the player has the financial means to flee the country. However, the footballer's defense team refutes these allegations, citing Alves' home in Esplugues de Llobregat, a town not far from Barcelona. The court found it important to confiscate the Brazilian passport because Brazil doesn't extradite nationals, and a large part of Dani's family and his children live there. Alves denied such plans in court and expressed his firm intention to remain at the disposal of the court at all times, El País reports. That said, the judges are still afraid of the Brazilian's financial power, but eventually decided to release Dani until a final decision on the case is made. Judge Luis Balesta was the one who voted against it. He believes that Alves has powerful connections around the world that'll help him leave Spain without any trouble, avoiding a sentence that could even be increased from 4.5 to 9 years, the exact term the prosecutor's office continues to call for. Is Dani Alves actually going to use his temporary freedom to leave the country? The court's fears are not groundless, considering reports from the Spanish media implying that the Brazilian is planning to escape. Dani Alves is depressed and has been placed in an anti-suicide program. He has also been telling people that as soon as he's provisionally free, he will go on the run to Brazil, a former jail inmate told the Fiesta TV show. The Telecinco Fiesta program also revealed that the former footballer was placed on a suicide protocol, which indicates that he is completely unwilling to serve his sentence in prison. No wonder whether Neymar or Messi would help Alves escape. Just imagine such a prison break executed by Dani, Ney and Leo. Mamma mia! Another interesting detail is the response of Dani's wife, Joana Sanz, to the latest news. According to Mundo Deportivo, she decided to delete her Instagram account and not share anything. Perhaps she's afraid of meeting Alves, but this is just our guess. What we do know is that Joana had a quarrel with Dani's mother and did not go to visit her husband in prison in the last few months, deciding to build a new life without Dani Alves. Now let's imagine the 40-year-old defender actually leaving Spain in the upcoming weeks or months. What will happen next? Will he pursue his football career? Let us remind you that Alves was under contract with Mexican side Pumas UNAM at the time of his arrest. Pumas have terminated his contract following the arrest. Therefore, the most likely scenario is that he will sign a contract with a Brazilian club, where he will finally hang his boots. And what if the sentence remains in effect? The Releva publication has calculated that in this case, Dani will have a chance to be released in January 2026, once he serves 3/4 of his sentence and shows good behavior along the way. The criminal code has another case under which Alves might have been granted parole after serving 2/3 of his sentence. To do so, in addition to the above requirements, you must constantly conduct cultural and professional activities in prison. Journalist Javier Mercedal and Sergio Fernandez inform. If the verdict gets upheld, Dani may be shifted to the third-degree regime, an open regime in which a prisoner can leave the facility during the day but must report back for the night, which could be applied to Alves in 6 months, Releva writes. And that's how things are, folks. At the moment, you may think that Neymar and Messi have actually helped Dani Alves to get out of prison, though it may all change if the Supreme Court upholds the sentence or even extends it. But then again, maybe the whole story will end much easier, with Dani Alves' escape. Guys, be sure to press the like button under this video if you found it useful, and subscribe to our channel. It was Inside Football. We watch football from a different angle. Have a nice one, and see you in a bit.